and we look forward to seeing you in action. Thank you.
Awesome. I will do my best. Thank you, everybody. So good evening, good morning, wherever you are. What we're going to do is a 30-minute demo. Gary is going to be the person I'm coaching. The only thing I know is that his name is Gary. So what I'm trying to give you the experience of what it is like walking in with a client from cold. Now, you don't want to be bored by me putting up PowerPoint slides and giving you a lecture. So the way I like to do it is I'm going to ask you in a moment to turn your videos off so that we can give Gary as comfortable an illusion of just being with me as we can to hold him in a safe space. And after about 30 minutes, we'll stop. And then the next 45 minutes are going to be for you to ask me anything you want. So question to ask yourself right now, because I will answer any question you've got, is if there was one thing I could discover about coaching that will transform how I work with my clients this year, what is it? So allow your subconscious to sort of pick that one up and listen to see if you find an answer to that during the session. When we come back, it'll be open mics, videos on. If you've got questions, you want to put your hand up and speak, we'll do it interactively. If you want to put stuff in the chat, then that's also fine. People only learn what they believe they need to learn. So rather than me deciding what I need to share with you, I'm going to let you decide what you need me to share with you. Okay? Deal. All right. So now we're going to crack on. So if you could all just shut your videos off so that I can just connect and get Gary in, and we'll start. Gary.
Good afternoon, Tony. Good evening.
Good evening. So it's always a little difficult when you're in a public space like this, but just to let them fade away, could you, in whatever it means to you, just bring yourself nice and centered? And then become fully grounded. And again, in whatever sense this has for you, just reach out and feel that you're connecting with me. And let everybody else just fade away. Okay, good. So Gary, we have 30 minutes. So tell me, what is it you need to resolve in the next 30 minutes?
So Tony, I've just transitioned from a 28-year IT career into full-time coaching in the last 3 weeks. And I've been coaching on the side, mornings, evenings, weekends, for about 3 years now. But well prior to that, since the beginning, actually, I've always left things till the last minute. I've always been that kind of person who just like does things until the last minute, and no big issue. Just a pain in the ass, excuse my language. Just lots of stress. But that's my identity. It's something that I identified with. I leave things till the last minute. Because I was employed by somebody else, up to now, you know, I just lived with it and just managed it as best I could. When I became self-employed, or as the transition into becoming self-employed, I thought, okay, now I'm working for myself. There's more on the line, and so it'll get better. In the last 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, it's actually got worse. And I know this is this transition is, well, this is almost a dream, but it is a dream come true for me. And I'm afraid that if I don't sort this out, it's going to have some pretty negative consequences. So I would like to discuss ideation around how I can change that to not be that person who leaves things till the last minute, because I've got plenty of time now. I'm working for myself. I've got plenty of coaching to do, but I've also got plenty of time to not leave things till the last minute.
Okay, so if I'm hearing correctly, you've transitioned from full-time employment to coaching recently, and a self-identifying habit of procrastination that you've always been happy with no longer serves you well.
Yep. Good summary. Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay. All right. So what's the problem?
The problem is I know that I'm good at what I do, and I know I can be good at, writing copy, learning, about more information about how best to serve my clients, and I've got a fairly high standard up to now, and I'm just not living up to that core value of mine of having a high standard. That's the problem, is that I know I can do better, but I'm not doing better. And you could argue that, well, have you got any proof that it would be better if you didn't leave it till the last minute? Objectively, probably not. But at the same time, I know I could put more into it, and I would just feel less stressed actually than coming up to whatever the deadline might be to have produced the work or to do the reading or whatever the task might be. So I think I can do better, and that's the problem.
Okay, so if I'm hearing right, you're saying that you can be more productive, proactive in how you undertake your tasks, but at the moment you're still choosing not to be.
Yep, I think that's accurate. Fair.
Okay, so that's your situation. What's your problem?
The problem maybe is in the future, in that in this context of now, I didn't necessarily have a problem before because I was going to get paid at the end of the month anyway, because somebody else was paying me.
Yeah.
But now I'm working for myself, and I have to build a business, and so there's things I have to do to build a business, and if I don't do those, I don't build the business. So therefore, I don't get to be that full-time coach. I've got to go, objectively, to pay the bills, got to go back to the world of IT, which I really, really don't want to do. So the problem right now isn't necessarily acute, but it could be, if this continues, I can see it happening, that the problem is that I just won't do the work, or that the business won't be built.
Okay, so if I'm hearing right there, you're saying there's a fear rising that if you don't change your behaviors, you'll be forced to give up your dream and go back to work.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
talk a bit more about the fear.
The fear is, I suppose, what's coming up for me is the fact that I've got, this is a dream, as I said. I mean, I've been reading personal development stuff since I was 16, 17. I'm 15 now. And it only occurred to me really at the age of 44, 43, 44 that maybe coaching might actually be a good idea. And I had actually put myself over the previous 30 years into that position. So the fear, I suppose, is I'm kind of, pardon the cliche, but kind of living the dream. And am I good enough to actually live that dream? And there's a fear of, I won't call it a fear of failure. There is a fear of failure, yes, but it's actually probably more a fear of success as well. You know, what would happen if I was the person that actually was succeeding in coaching, in my role in being a, you know, getting that PCC and then going on to MCC and so on and so on. Be articulated a little bit better, but I think the fear is probably in not being good enough to actually build a business, because I've never built a business before. I've seen other people do it. I know other people have done it, but I've never done it before. What if I don't do it? What if I do it wrong? But what if I do it right? Then my little hiding place of gone away, got nowhere to hide. No excuses.
Is that the one that you're really afraid of?
I think so. I don't think it's the failure, to be quite honest. I think it's the success, actually. It's always felt like that. Because just something that is, I suppose, part of me is that I was born with a disability, so I'm a wheelchair user and have been all my life. And so I've been helped as such. And kind of, but now I've found something in coaching that in my own right, I'm quite good at. And I've got, you know, evidence to prove that. So this is new to me, relatively, in my life, in that this is on my own merits, and it feels scary as shit, excuse my language.
Yes.
But what if I could do it? And I've got loads of evidence to prove, you know, from clients that I've had over the 3 or 4 years that I can. But I think the remaining person to be convinced is me.
You are already convinced. You're just afraid of it. So, as you're sitting there with this, and the future, the future's in front of you, what do you see in front of you now between you and that success? and the success being okay.
To be quite honest, I don't see the thing that's coming up primarily for me is excitement.
Okay.
Is that all of the work, now I just use quotes, all of the work that I've got to do, it's all great, it's brilliant stuff. I enjoy every single bit of it. That's what's coming up for me. It's hard, yeah, but I wouldn't have quit my job and be here, I think, if I was fairly hard.
So as you're looking at that future, just go there, be there, where the problem is solved. You are successful and you're okay with it. What's happening?
There's a peace within a. It's peaceful. It's kind of right. It kind of feels right.
Nice.
But the other thing that was coming up for me is respect. Gaining respect from my peers, and which, you know, is there right now. I can see it, I can feel it, but from other people as well who don't get coaching, who just don't, who don't, like, some family members and stuff, and which is there as well to a certain degree, but the measure of success for those people is not there right now, because we're just building the business. I'm just building the business. But when there will be that level of respect as well. And there will be a pride, an immense pride, actually. That's just struck me right now. Which isn't there right now, actually, now that you've asked the question. That's not there right now.
And in the future it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. That future where you're feeling that pride, where you're not afraid of the success, and where you have that respect, is right in front of you. It's not on a timeline. It's sitting right here, and you could choose to step into it.
Mm-hmm.
As you see it right there in front of you, is there any barrier or anything between you and it?
What was coming up for me as you were describing it was the identity thus far. My identity thus far. If you're talking specifically about the pride, is that I think the only barrier, to be brutally honest, is me. It is my decision to step into that. And when I step into that, I know I'm not going to believe it straight away. I feel I'm not going to believe it straight away. But let me just backtrack a little bit. The pride thing, it's really hitting me, is that I've had other people tell me that that they are proud of this, that, and the other throughout the course of my life. As lots of people have. But I've never really felt it. Ever. And I think this is directly related to this procrastination. Yeah, I feel, because if I don't do it, then everything's fine. If I don't do the thing, everything's fine. I don't need to feel proud of myself. I don't have any reason to. Objectively, I can't. I don't have any reason to. Other people can say what they want, but I know the facts. But if I actually do the work, well, then that reason goes away. Now, I can immediately feel pride for having the wherewithal to build myself up to where I am right now. I could do that right now, today, and I will. I can try anyway.
Do you want this?
Yeah, that's a. Yes, absolutely. It absolutely, because it's as I said, it's the dream. So
just bring it in to yourself. I want you to reach down to whatever you see, the source of the infinite energy that everything is made up of. I want you to just pull that into yourself, pull it up, and feel it filling you up so that you feel your entire physical frame starting to expand. And really feel it till your skin's getting a little tight, it's stretching. Let the energy flow up into you and expand yourself. And as you're feeling that, call your entire being to come present in you. Now that future is right in front of you. As you said a few moments ago, you just have to make a choice. So what I want you to do is just stay with it. Stay with it right in front of you. And then in your mind, when you're ready to make that choice, move forward, move into it, and lock it into yourself.
Perfect.
What's going on?
The energy. I could feel it, I had my eyes closed there. I felt a real intense heat, warmth, kind of the whole way through. And everything was flowing into my heart, which is very unusual. I haven't experienced that before for me. I would always say that right at the center here in my solar plexus would be where I would feel most of my, energy, from a gut perspective. But that flowing into the heart, I mean, that question, do I really want this? That hit me. Because the answer is binary, yes or no. And no is certainly not the answer.
So are you going to do this?
Yes. And what's also actually coming up for me here is just a peace with the outcome. Because if I put the work in, then what happens, happens.
Can I suggest you do one more thing?
Yeah,
So that
please.
energy that you felt flowing and expanding you, draw more of that. And then when you feel that you're completely full, allow it to flow out through the top of you. So just pull more of that energy up from beneath and let it just flow through your heart and out through the top. It's not just your energy, it's the flow. It's an infinite available flow that's going to flow through you. And when it goes through you and goes out to everything else, is where you start having your impact. You feel the flow? Okay, now do one more thing. Speed it up. Make sure it's a smooth flow. Just speed up that flow of energy going through you. Okay, what's happening?
The word control has come up for me. When you say going out the top of my head and impacting lots of people, or sorry, CJ, where everything around me. I've seen this happen. I've seen, the energy that I produce impact other people in a positive way. But it all seems kind of like almost nothing to do with me. It's almost like, and I think that's the ownership that I need to take here of my, not in an arrogant way, but just an ownership of the impact of that energy and control it. Know that it's there.
So I guess there's only one question. Are you owning it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So in relation to what you needed from this conversation, where are you now?
Very much at peace with what I need to do. There's the conflict, and I use the word on purpose, between what I need to do and, you know, and that fear, and that's resolved in a lot of ways. And that, I mean, I've answered 3 things that I can see. I do want it. I'm not afraid of that success, at least, you know, and I'm at peace with what I need to do.
Awesome. Okay. So what would be a good time frame for you and I to have a next conversation to see how you're progressing?
Um, 4 weeks.
Okay. We do.
Yeah, because I've been, you know, in this for 4 weeks. 4 more weeks will tell a lot.
And that look on your face, that sounds like there's a plan, right?
Yeah, there's lots of things going through my head about what I can do.
Okay. Do you want to, would it help to articulate that, or do you need to let it process?
I think I've used the wrong word, actually. It's not really about doing. I think it's more about being. The doing is just part of it. It's the identity piece.
That's the shift you just made, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Feel? How does it feel? Feeling good?
Empowered.
Nice.
Very much powerful. And peaceful again. That kind of like, okay, there's no conflict now.
Strong but flows. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Do you want to just sit and enjoy that state of being now that you've shifted to, while we bring the others back in for a conversation?
Thank you. That was massively valuable. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'll just turn my camera off for a second.
Yeah, take a breath, relax. Okay, everybody else, would you like to come back? Videos on.